Hi, here we are again for another episode of Coach Curly. Today we're here with Leon.
Hi.
How you doing, mate?
Well, I'm always doing fine, although internally I might not be doing that well, so that's one of the reasons why I'm here.
Rightio, so how does that show up? Tell us what you want to work on today.
I find it very difficult to express my feelings. I think my tear bucket's just about full.
Yep, you're on the edge right now, hey?
Yeah.
Yep.
When my mum passed away, I didn't express a single tear.
Yep.
Or have any regrets. Same happened when my dad was killed in a car crash, so I find it extremely difficult to express my feelings.
Yep.
My mom was an extremely bossy woman, and I think as a kid got bossed around and everything, and you actually learn to fight against it, and you just carry on normally and ignore everything and just work and work and work to get away from it. I then married a woman, Verity, love her dearly, but she's very bossy and intimidating and can be extremely abusive at times, or has been often extremely abusive, and extremely demanding as well. Being a Southie, I do everything. I clean the house.
Southie means supporter, salt to the earth, dedicated, loyal, trustworthy, honest, hard-working, good guy. Anyway, sorry.
So I end up doing everything around the house. She does absolutely dipshit, excuse the language, and I put a lot of effort into my work and work extremely hard. I think often as an escape mechanism, I'll put in 12 hours a day sometimes,
Yeah.
Not that I get any recognition from work either or anything like that, which I suppose internally hurts a bit as well, but nobody recognizes me for anything, so
And I believe you work from home as well.
Yeah, currently working from home, yes.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make the situation much easier, but
well, much less likely that you're going to get recognition from work when you're not at work. But that's a detail, we won't worry about.
I'm the Queensland office for the organisation, so I really seriously need some time to myself, and I suppose I'm the one that needs to create that so that I can try and iron out some of my issues,
Yep.
And that's come up through some of the
So when you
previous
say
speakers
iron
today.
out some of my issues, what would they be?
I need to sit and reflect seriously about life. As I say, I don't express feeling much at all, Even towards my wife, who I love dearly, and the more she carries on with her behavior, the harder it becomes, of course, to express feelings, etc.
Yep.
And grief, I've never really grieved about anything. The hardest thing I ever did in life was I had to put down one of my own dogs on the farm. Well, two actually, and that was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life,
Mm-hmm.
Because they're loyal and the likes, but to people, so what, it's another body out there, it doesn't worry me in the least, I'm actually quite happy. I could quite happily go and live in the outback all on my own in a little hut. I'm sure I'll be quite happy there,
Yep.
because nobody would be bugging me or anything like that. So that's the situation I'm sort of at this point in time.
So the reality is that you need that space and that time.
I need that space and that time, I'm sure, yes.
Mm-hmm. So you haven't given yourself that space and time because there's something more important that you've got to achieve first.
More external pressures on me.
There's a heap of external pressures. Why haven't you given yourself this space and time?
That's a good question. Most probably don't consider myself to be that important.
Or there's something more important to be done.
Yeah.
And that more important thing to be done is to be healed. So your married life is just like your childhood.
Absolutely.
So it's a photocopy So why would you do that? Why would anyone produce a photocopy of their childhood?
Stupidity.
Stupidity. Okay, that's one explanation we've all used. But why? Why would somebody who's been the victim of domestic violence go and get into another domestic violence place?
Because that's what you're used to.
Because that's what we're used to? So it's fair enough to say we don't know any better.
Yep.
Or if we look underneath that, so that's, yeah, fair enough. But to get resolution, we need to go deeper. So if we look underneath that, what advantage is there to you in reproducing your childhood?
None whatsoever.
Oh, there is. There has to be. Otherwise you'd have walked.
Reproducing it.
See, if you weren't getting something out of it, you'd have been gone long ago.
Well, periodically, my wife's a really loving and nice person, you know, and I love her deeply.
Which is exactly the same as your mother.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What's that feeling there?
I've most probably stuffed it up in life, you know.
So it's sadness?
Sadness, yes.
Sadness is about loss and grief, so what have you lost?
I've lost me.
Yeah. Yep.
Apart from having lost parents and things like that, I think I've lost me.
Yes. Yes. How old are you?
57.
So how long do you think you've been lost for?
Gee, it was probably 56 years.
Well, how old were you when your mother died?
No, that was about 4 years ago.
About 4 years ago.
But
Okay.
I changed countries in between. So.
Yeah, I can tell. So, you've lost you because you turned you into the person who could survive all that.
Yeah.
So
as a defence mechanism, yes.
Whatever your process, whatever your method, whatever, you said, oh, I'm a Southie. So that's just a method, that's just a behavioural style. So other people, given your circumstances, might behave the same way or differently or whatever, but that's just all details. Whatever your style for handling it, whatever your management method for handling how life has been, what's been the price?
Well, I've been suffering, yes. And right now I've reached a stage where I'm virtually at breakdown point, so I need to do something about it.
So what happens if it continues unchanged?
I'll most probably break down and have illness and all sorts of things like that.
Yep.
The body can't carry on like that.
Yep. Why haven't you broken down?
Most probably because I'm fairly tough and resilient.
Yeah. Can we have tissues? So you haven't broken down because you're tough or resilient or whatever. There's another reason why. In other words, that's about your constitution and the need to keep going. So why do you need to keep going like this?
Well, I've got a wife to care for and look after. And the other thing is that I need to look to my future as well and survival for the future.
Well, they're two opposing forces. When I say why haven't you broken down so far, because how long have you been married?
32 years.
32 years. So
it's been hard.
It's been extraordinarily hard. So why haven't you broken down until now? Because you can't afford to, because you live in fear of what will happen if you are not there to keep it all together.
Yeah, I suppose that's part of it, yeah.
So part of your imaginings, in other words, to have fear, we have to be imagining.
Yeah.
Okay, so part of your imaginings are what's going to happen if you're not there to hold it all together.
Yes, definitely.
Now, you won't have had thoughts in your head. It's just an unbearable thing to imagine, so you don't. So I'm going to get you to do that. So what would happen if you're not there to be the glue to hold it together?
Well, Berit will have to look after herself by some means or other.
Yep. Can she do that?
I don't know how she'll do it.
But can she? This is an opinion. Can she or can't she?
She'd find it extremely hard, yes.
She'd find it very difficult.
Very difficult.
Okay. One of the reasons that she'd find it very difficult is she's had no practice because you've been doing it. So you're what we call an enabler. So in another set of circumstances, an enabler is a parent who keeps supplying their child with a bit more money to get through the tough times, but the child is shooting it up. And so the child is a drug addict, and an enabler is someone who enables it to keep happening. Now you're an enabler in as much as you're so constant and so reliable and constant and so Mr. Fix-It that she's never actually had to have a go at
Doing anything.
fixing it, stopping it from breaking, being personally responsible, taking care of herself, modifying her behaviour.
All of those, yes.
In a way, you've created that.
Well, if you point it out that way, I suppose so, yes.
Well, is it?
Yeah.
Feel free to tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're quite right.